Half of 2019 is in the bag, and hundreds of Switch games have released. Some very good, some kind of good, and some not so good. But we thought it'd be fun to chronicle the 20 best Switch games thus far of 2019 in SwitchForce's opinion. So, of course, these are our favorite games, the ones that are best in our eyes. There are plenty of great ones out there, but we think we've come up with a really good list. Definitely let us know in the comments down below what your favorite Switch games of 2019 have been thus far. We wanted to wait till we got to the end of June and made sure that Mario Maker 2 would make this list. Spoiler, it's on this list somewhere, so we'll get to that. But Gabe, let's kick it off with number 20, New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe.
And the only reason that this is at number 20, it's because of the other game that's on the list somewhere. Yeah, I feel like Mario Maker just invalidates this game completely. I cannot recommend for anyone to pick this game up anymore, but we'd be lying if we didn't say that this was one of the best games of the year, especially because it came out so early in the year. You got to have an awesome Mario experience. I know you and I have both had a lot of fun with the challenge mode. Yeah, it was cool.
Challenges are really great. You kind of get that a little bit clear conditions, but still there is value in the challenges. I don't want you to feel like if you have Mario Bros. U Deluxe, it was the worst decision. It still is a cool game, and you are getting a more fleshed out, campaign, obviously, with the map and the bosses and whatnot, than you get in Mario Maker 2. So it still has some value in its spot, and we still did have a lot of fun, especially in January. Number 19 for us is HoB the Definitive Edition, which surprised us because we didn't play it the first time around, but Panic Button came in, and under the radar Panic Button. They didn't really say so much, but they worked on this game and crafted the already solid experience into something that performed better, played better, and was a lot of fun.
Fun Zelda-like adventure. You lose an arm at some point, Zach, and then you have to go on this epic quest. Yeah, it was awesome for the amount of time that I did spend with it. I think it's an awesome price point, and anything that Panic Button does that's of quality, I'm always supporting.
Yeah, it definitely has a very charming and I'll say calm aesthetic, but the combat is tricky and the platforming does require some thought, a little puzzle work there, and very cool environmental shifts. I like that geo-shifting that they got going on in HoB. Number 18 for us is Sniper Elite V2 Remastered, something that I don't think we would have predicted would be on this list. I don't know if we predicted that those games would even be on the console, but having that sniper action, a different kind of shooter on the Switch, was really cool in both regular control and motion control. Yeah,
I love the way it works with gyro. I love playing handheld. That's how I spent the majority of my time with that game. It's a really cool experience. The multiplayer, while I don't know how thriving it is now, it was fun for the first week or so that it was out. So yeah, you're right. I was surprised, and I'm lucky because we still have another Sniper Elite game coming later in the year.
Maybe even more. Maybe it's going to keep on rolling through that. This was the first game that I did my new my handheld or my tabletop pro method where I play tabletop with the pro controller. That was a really fun way to enjoy that one. Number 17 for us is Origami Shadow Edition, a stealthy port that compiles a bunch of DLC together and is one of your hidden gems of the year.
Yeah, awesome stealth game. The fact that it has co-op, that lends itself perfectly to the Switch. It's a cool little story. I love the environment. I love the price. It's a fun experience, and you're going to have hours and hours of fun for that lower price point there. It didn't add a ton of new stuff, honestly, none of it. It's just more of a compilation of what was already out. Right. But if you have siblings or anything, this is a fun co-op one to have, especially if you're a little bit more into that hardcore gaming side of things where you have to be super stealthy, and going back and not being seen in certain levels is really fun. Awesome powers. I can't recommend Origami enough.
Very cool. Number 16 is Cave Blazers, one that definitely jumped up and surprised us. A cool little roguelike adventure as you delve into a dungeon. It's simplistic but fun, and I caught myself enjoying it a lot on plane flights. Another great handheld game, and one that even bearing the dreaded genre, Gabe, you even found some fun in.
Yeah, absolutely. If I'm going to have to play one of these, Cave Blazers is probably going to be one of the first ones I do play. Yeah.
It's got really nice meta where you are unlocking new things and kind of progressing through a lot of different modes, and it definitely controls very good, which is a necessity for a game like this that is so specific in its platforming and its combat. Number 15 for us is Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. It's an older title, but one that feels right at home on Switch, especially handheld. That action RPG flow, really awesome, and it's going to be your Tales of choice for a while because the new one sadly isn't coming to Switch.
Yeah, that's a huge bummer, but you are getting an awesome Tales game that I originally played so long ago, and then having the ability to relive some of this. And this one did add certain things that just were never in the original game. You have a new playable character, so if you are coming into this world for your second or third time, there is incentive for you to do it again. Perfect for handheld, on the go. JRPGs just are great for that, so I love this one.
Number 14 is Yoshi's Crafted World. Wish this guy was a little bit higher. It still is a cute, charming adventure that can be enjoyed co-op. It's very, very pretty. It didn't reach the heights that, you know, some other first-party titles have reached for us on Switch, but it's undeniably a game that's just booming with fun and happy feels.
Yeah, going back and getting all the collectibles in certain stages, there's some actual challenge to that's really
that's
really
the
cool.
ticket right there.
And I feel like if you have like a family, this is like a must-have game because it's like good, decent party fun that you can have together. And I know Mario Maker kind of, you know, invalidates on that just because that's the new party game for me. But yeah, Yoshi is it's undeniable quality.
It's different. It's campaign based as opposed to you know just like quick little, you know, old school Mario level. So it's a different feel and one that, you know, is definitely worth
fun story.
Its spot on this
fun
list.
Story too. I enjoyed the Infinity Stones.
a lot of Kamek action there, which is always appreciated by me. Number 13 is Baba Is You, possibly the weirdest game on our list and maybe even the most creative. It definitely was a brain burner, and I love for us how levels that stump me wouldn't stump you, and levels that would stump you, you know, I breezed through, and that was really fun to like just see how like the inner workings of your mind quickly attach onto certain concepts, but then others kind of elude you. It's very interesting how they basically brought game programming to a very fun and front-facing kind of gameplay style.
What I liked about this is when we had the interview with Image Informed Games, they said that this is one of the games that they had been enjoying. So I love that developers got into it, and then us, we don't make games, we still found fun in it as well. So it's such a sweet game.
Yeah, very, very clever, crafty puzzler that does something different from probably any other puzzler you're going to play on Switch and maybe even anywhere, and can be had at a pretty good price. Number 12, as we climb this list, is Wargroove, one that we had waited for so long. Chucklefish trying to drum up that Advance Wars feel. They did it pretty good.
They did an awesome job. Sizable campaign. There's like level creators. There's online. There's co-op. There's so much. It's a huge, huge package for the price. And if you loved Advance Wars, you're going to be right at home with this one. I wish there was a little bit more enemy variety as I progressed through the story. Yeah. I was disappointed to see there was just like color like changes in a lot of the ways. But I'm sure the community went and had a ball with it. I can't even imagine what they've done. I know that someone like tried like recreating Advance Wars like in it. It's like
the whole campaign.
Yeah, so that itself was really cool.
Yeah, a very creative suite of modes and features, and in some ways it feels parallel to the recent release of Mario Maker.
It's the Mario Maker of
those kind of you know turn-based, you know, war-based strategy titles. So a very quality. Chucklefish continues to do great work, many delays, but it was, for the most part, worth it. Number 11 for us is Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice, which is, of course, just a port, but it is such an intriguing game, and one that will just poke at your emotions in a wide variety of ways. It reminded us of Celeste just in that sense, but with a totally different gameplay style, and couples that with Ninja Theory's well-known top-tier combat.
Yes, this is an atmospheric game. It's an unsettling game. It's one that the developers, and even I, because I did do this, encourage you to play with headphones, because sound and sight is incredibly important. I mean, sight is important in every game, but the way that this one just like it takes your perception and just like messes with it, and then you do still have those like insane action like section. It's an awesome game that I feel like everyone should play. It won a ton of awards with very good reason.
And the port was solid, which was kind of a requirement to make this list. The port had to perform well. And speaking of well-performing ports, Darksiders War Mastered Edition sits at number 10. This is Gabe's favorite Switch port, and for very good reason, because not only is it an awesome, mature-rated Zelda-alike with the dungeons and depth, but it does have that super sweet option to choose between performance or resolution, which is something that we wish every third party, or really every game, would put into their Switch version.
Seriously, we're all different as far as like our gaming likes. Some of us prefer 60 FPS. Some of us don't care if it's 30 as long as it looks a little nicer. So having that option is great. Awesome puzzles, awesome boss fights, awesome exploration. This is a great game, and it kind of reinvigorated my love for the Darksiders franchise, because since then I've gone and started 3 a little bit. I don't like 3 as much, but there is a spin-off coming to Switch, and I'm still very much
Genesis.
It's gonna be great.
Well, and it holds up pretty darn well for a game that did release a long while ago, and I think it sits nicely next to Breath of the Wild, which is so much more of an open-ended Zelda, and this is just much more of a linear dungeon-focused experience. Yeah, so they're cool to kind of play and have coupled together on the Switch. Number 9 is Slay the Spire, that epic card battling roguelike that we've been waiting for so long to reach the Switch. It finally did recently, and I have been playing it non-stop. Yes, if you're not into card games, maybe you don't like it as much, but the systems at play are awesome. The runs are long, but I don't feel too long, and you always get something out of it, making progress, different characters, tons of cards, and lots of choice, which I frankly love.
I echo everything you said. I'm glad the game is finally on Switch because it took a while.
Number 8 is Cuphead, the child of that awesome Microsoft marriage with Nintendo, and boy was it the right pick, because Cuphead is a phenomenal game, it's a phenomenal visual feast, and it works so good on Switch. Taking that one on the plane, I may have only beaten one boss per flight, because they're so challenging as you progress through, but super worth it, and super glad it is on our hybrid.
Yes, I can't wait until the next Microsoft game, which we suspect is going to be Ori and the Blind Forest comes out, but for now, we do have some very traditional, cartoony looking, insane, difficult action, and I'm happy it's there. I'm still going to play this probably for like years to come, because I'm never going to beat it because I'm terrible at it.
Can't wait for the Cuphead DLC. Okay, number 7 is a very interesting indie title made by Gabe. Not this Gabe, but another Gabe, and that is Ape Out, the Hotline Miami-esque title, but instead of a dude who's pissed off, it's DK gets angry and wrecks everyone with a lot of percussive sounds that are dependent on your actions. It's got such a vibe and such a flow.
Yeah, I always equate it to like a Tarantino, like Donkey Kong game. A lot of blood,
Such
a lot
a
of
great
gore,
analogy.
awesome music. Yeah, I mean, we've sung this one's praises an awful lot with good reason.
Climbing closer and closer to the top. Number 6 is Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled. A surprise, because I didn't expect this title, this remake of 3 Crash Racing games to come up so high on this list, but it does. $40 gives you 31 tracks, a ton of characters, an adventure mode, and a lot of fun. The loads are egregious, but the action is worth it, and even though it's so difficult, that to me has been one of my favorite parts. It's very skill-based. The AI is crushing, but that made it satisfying every time I did get first place.
Yeah, so some insane rubber banding effects going on here. These AI characters just all of a sudden get amazingly good at the game, which
you got to be perfect.
Yeah, it's good, and there is something to that. If you do like difficulty a little bit more, kart racers aren't usually where you go to for that. But I mean, I'm glad that this is kind of introducing that, and I'm sure they're gonna have balance changes going forward and things like that. But hey, it came out at a good price. You were even able to get it cheaper if you took advantage of some deals. Yeah, it's a good addition, and a very recent one.
I will quickly note that the restart on a race is not subject to the same load as loading into a race, so that saves maximum frustration for sure. Number 5 is Cadence of Hyrule. Whew, that amazing collaboration came through and reaches the top of our list. Such an awesome experience, and one that you just were hooked on.
Yeah, I finished the whole thing basically in a day. It dropped
the first day.
Yeah, it dropped during the week of E3. I said, "Oh man, what's E3? I'm staying home and playing Zelda," because it surprisingly It did end up being a Zelda game, which is not what I expected. Dungeons are really cool. The procedural element, even though I don't typically like that, were really well done. Finding all the items and 100%ing the game was just neat, because it wasn't going to be the same for anyone, so you can't really go look online where these things are, because everything is just like procedurally generated. Boss fights are awesome. Music, how can we forget about the music in this game? It's damn near the attraction of the game.
Yeah.
So many awesome remixes to classic Zelda tunes. I love the game to death.
Yeah, I always try to put like a little like warning, like if you don't like rhythm games, but so many people say they didn't like rhythm games, or even didn't like this at the start and then fell in love with it. So I think it's fair game for anybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Cadence is just great. Number 4 is Mortal Kombat 11. What I would contest might be the best port on Switch, because they did a phenomenal job of getting that game to run 60 on the platform, look pretty solid, and play really well. It's only missing a few small things, but all in all, it may be NetherRealm's best fighter, and it's so fun to take on the go on Switch.
I just wish the game wasn't so ugly in certain like aspects. Like the resolution is like
sometimes
not great, but I have played my entire Mortal Kombat like experience on Switch, so that says something. I would have never imagined that wasn't to be possible. A very solid frame rate, and that's uber important for fighting games, and I'm glad that they were able to do it.
Also, Day and Date, which is
perfect.
So awesome. Number 3 is Steam World Quest, Hand of Gilgamesh. Image and form changes genres, but once again dominates, delivering a super awesome deck building experience with RPG elements, a little bit of exploration, and a really fun, colorful cast of characters.
This is one of the few times where like I build something up in my head to be like amazing, and then it turns out to be everything I wanted. So I'm really happy that ended up being the case. The deck building and just how different you and I like played the games. Like at first you stuck with the main characters and I was like switching constantly, so there was a lot of good variety there. And they do gameplay like no other. They do perfect that over there, even though this is like a little bit slower and completely different than everything they've ever done. I still really appreciate it. It's a good adventure, a little pricey, but if you ever see it go down in price at all, instantly grab it.
Yeah, I was going to say, they upped the ante on the price, but I feel like they did up the ante also. We got a lot of hours out of the game, a lot of fun. There's so much choice, and you're constantly upgrading cards, swapping out characters, swapping out cards, making new decks, acquiring new cards, and buying new items. It really feels fleshed out, and I feel deserving of the price. It's one that I personally marathon, which is rare for me, and did it all in handheld. Number 2 for us, as we get real close to the top, is Katana Zero, a one-man show, but it delivered fun for way more than one man or woman. Such an awesome experience. It is visceral and violent. It is so intense for a pixel-based game, but to me, it takes Hotline Miami style gameplay that we loved in Ape Out, makes it 2D, and adds just a little bit of extra ninja flair, and then delivers this mysterious story that's reminiscent of Celeste in its complexity. Such a prime example of how to do an indie experience nearly perfect.
We're going to get more of the game. There's DLC coming, pixel perfect gameplay. It's great. The story kind of like loses me towards the end just because it's like it's so obtuse and like weird in a lot of ways. And I don't know.
I love it like from the beginning until like the last 30 minutes.
Yeah,
story-wise.
It gets so crazy. It kind of reminds me of Lost a little bit. Another jam of ours. But yeah, I fully recommend this. I think this is like the maybe second or third best game on eShop, only right after Celeste. I'm talking eShop exclusive games. So yeah, this is up there.
I mean, and the satisfaction provided by completing some of those later rooms and getting them just right, where you grab a bottle, throw a bottle, go and slash someone, deflect a bullet, roll through, grab a grenade, toss the grenade. It's an incredible feeling, and one that I feel is chaotic but planned in the perfect amount. You're not slowly plodding through. You kind of adjust on the go, but then you feel like, oh my gosh, I am the smartest and most dexterous ninja this side of the Switch, and that feels so good. That brings us to number 1, and our top game thus far of 2019 is Super Mario Maker 2, the most recent release, and it's the best one. This is, it could be called Super Mario Infinite as far as we're concerned, because the amount of new parts and items they've added has just expanded the creativity exponentially, and we're already seeing so many great stages a day and a half after the title launches. What's it going to be like 3 weeks, 3 months, a year down the road?
A sizable, solid story mode that introduces a lot, including choice of how you like get the castle going. The multiplayer is like really cool. It works well. I can't wait until we are able to play together one day's next. Nintendo has promised us that. For now, we wait. Amazing package. It is an infinite game. You'll never get tired of this. You probably don't even need another Mario game on Switch. Unless, Odyssey, sure, 3D Mario, completely different. But as far as 2D
and Strikers.
Yeah, that's not what I'm talking about. Come on. But
side-scrolling Mario. No, and it feels really good knowing they are going to rectify the online with friends issues. If that hadn't been the case, maybe there would be a little bit of pull in a different direction. But with that in our future, Mario Maker 2 is awesome. It's Nintendo at their best, and it's honestly the community at their best, because download a bunch of stages, play them with your friends, and then tell them that those are made by random people. It's almost mind-blowing that there's that much quality just from community creations, and so soon already.
It's insane. I don't know how these people exist. Like, they are just far superior in everything Mario. I know I'm not great at the game quite yet, but I'm gonna continue to try to hone my skills and one day finish some of those extremely difficult levels. I've come across some that I've already basically just have a vendetta against now at this point. They're like the white whale, Zach. I need to get them one day, and I don't know if I ever will, but I'm gonna try.
I hope you indeed will, and I think they flushed that game out in the similar way that they fleshed out Smash Ultimate, with a single player portion that really rounds out the package, and I've had a lot of fun on that side of things as well. So that is our list from 20 to 1. Let us know what you think of our list and what your favorite games of the first half of 2019 on Nintendo Switch are in the comments down below. Can't wait for the second half of the year. Will the list be harder? For
absolutely, there's like 8 exclusive games coming, so yeah.
I think all those retail releases are going to make this challenging, because if you do notice, a lot of these are eShop titles. Doesn't say anything about quality, but just says the way that they're delivered, and that will probably flip a bit for the next 2 quarters. But we'll be back at the end of the year with another comprehensive list. This is yours for right now. Take it and go grab a fun game that maybe you missed out on. Until next time, everybody, thanks so much for watching. A fantastic day for myself and Gabe. We appreciate you a lot. Hit that like button if you enjoyed the video and are ready for more. Until then, SwitchForce